It's now time for the Game of the Week, a service of Cgame.live. Cgame.live.
Before we get to all the play-by-play action, it's time for the pregame show, brought to you by Northwest Athletics Apparel. They have everything you need to look and feel your best on game day at affordable prices, providing athletes and teams with excellent products and customer service. From uniform gloves to hats, Northwest Athletics Apparel can fill your needs. For more information, go to nwaa.biz on the internet or email them at nwaaapparel@gmail.com or search Northwest Athletics Apparel on Facebook. Northwest Athletics Apparel is a proud sponsor of tonight's game on Cgame.live.
Five, four, three.
Hey, welcome to the Game of the Week of the Western Washington Football Alliance. Tonight we have a big game. It's between the Northwest Hurricanes, and they are coming into this game looking for a victory. They've been on the road for 3 games in a row. It's been a little tough out there, and they're playing against the Portland Raiders. The Raiders, good year so far. They're 4-1. And this is the Division II of the 3 divisions in the Western Washington Football Alliance. This is a big game for leadership in the Division II. And we're here in beautiful downtown Spanaway. Beautiful day. We're really looking forward to it. We have a special guest today, in fact. And the person that we have here today is the head of Northwest Athletic Apparel. And how are you today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, just fine. Looking forward to a big game here. And I'm really glad you're here because you are sponsoring the games today, and this is exciting for us. We love being out here. We love the Western Washington Football Alliance. And one of the things that I think is fantastic is sometimes you have teams that get out there and they really need the different apparel. Yeah. And so what you need is good-looking apparel and at a good price. And that's one of the things that we really love dealing with Northwest Athletic Apparel.
Most definitely. That's one of our main, I'd say, goals that way is to, bring a quality product and, provide something that's affordable because, especially when you're at a lower level, teams can't afford to go out and buy a ton of stuff and for a really high price. Right. And especially if you go to some of those bigger companies, they want a ton for just a single uniform. So we're by far maybe a quarter of that. So we try to work it and make sure that you can put everybody in a uniform and make it look nice.
That's fantastic. Nice, good apparel and at a good price. That is special. And unfortunately, it's great to have you up here in the booth, but unfortunately, you're up here for a bad reason because you actually play for the team out here.
Yeah, no, it's true. I ended up getting hurt, and that's kind of the nature of football. Every once in a while, you'll end up somebody will roll your ankle or sprain it or do something. So I ended up getting a little nasty leg injury about a few weeks back. So it's kind of been lingering, but hopefully I'll be back up to 100% soon. So.
Yeah, hopefully, certainly. And that's with the Northwest Hurricanes.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and we certainly appreciate it's so fantastic you've been sponsoring the shows, these games, and we certainly do appreciate that. And, and the interesting thing, too, and the person I usually, Ray, where are you? Ray Lana's the announcer that works here usually. Yeah. And unfortunately, he has to work. And he always mentions, and this is his thing, is how we come to these games and we just love it. Right? This is some great football. And right? You're with the Hurricanes. It must be killing you sitting up here.
Yeah. No, it is kind of tough because it is always nice to be out there playing. It's fun. It's one of those things where I think what I like about just the league in general with the WWFA is that it gives all these players, these grown men, a chance to still do what they love, which for most cases after you finish high school you think it's all over. So being able to actually come out here and still get a chance to do it also, it keeps you off the streets, it keeps you out of trouble because, instead of doing something crazy on a Saturday night, you're out here playing games, enjoying camaraderie, and having some fun. So
yeah, doing something crazy as in going out and playing full contact football, yes.
That's true.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, and that's interesting, too, because what happens all the time, Ray points this out, is you guys have real lives. In your case, Northwest Athletic Apparel, fantastic company, great uniforms.
thing.
You guys look
Yeah.
sharp and a good price. What a deal, huh? But and you're out here just. You have a life. You have a job, obviously,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, they have families, so they have to go back to that. And you come out here, and that's the thing about what is just amazing about this league, Western Washington Football Association, and the 3 divisions. I like how they divided it up now because you have a lot better competition. But what is just amazing is then you guys have to go back to your life. This is one day a week you're out here.
Yeah.
Love it though, right?
Oh yeah, and it's definitely a little bit of a commitment because I mean it grows through your
Yes.
summer, and usually most teams will at least usually try to practice at least once or twice during the week. So it's like you got to find a little bit of time to do that and everything. Try to get coordinated because I mean obviously you don't want to go out there and look like you don't know what you're doing.
That's always embarrassing.
But I think that's nice because I think for the most part when it comes to like our league, I think for the most part players are pretty respectful. So they realize at the end of the day you have to go back to your regular life. So they aren't out there trying to injure you. I mean, football is a contact sport. Injuries do happen, but generally speaking, most players don't play dirty. They just try to play a clean game, have some fun, and of course win because that's the objective. So.
Right. You're still out here to win.
Yes.
It's
most
have
definitely.
fun. Yeah. And that is interesting too because I have noticed that is that there is not a high rate of injury. A lot of contact, a lot of hard hitting out there, and that's the thing. I'm sure, and this is when you're out there, it's the same feeling. It's you're into it. It's the intensity, and that's the amazing thing about this league. I mean, and it's spring football. You gotta love that. That's spring football. But these guys are out there working hard and going after it. They have the intensity like you do, obviously. And so at the end of the day, as you walk off the field, and we'll say you win, what's going through your mind? Why are you coming out here week after week playing this game? It's for at the end of the game, walking out the field. What do you feel like?
I think it's interesting because like I think one of the beautiful things about football in general is it's a chance to not only kind of do something amazing, but it's like all the different things that come together when you're playing the sport because you have all these different people. I mean, 22 people on the field at the same time. Everybody's moving. One split-second decision from one person can change the entire landscape of the entire play or even the entire game. So it's like it's the chance to kind of almost lose yourself in the here and now. Like it's one of the unique things with sports that you don't get quite in anything else you do, and so I think that is that enjoyment that I really love about the sport.
Right. And we're just talking about this is amateur. We're just out here to have fun, but way down inside, when you're out there and you're playing, it's that intensity.
Oh yeah,
it's fantastic. Because you're able to come out here and you don't. Again, you're not getting paid.
No.
You got a life you got to take care of. You got families and responsibilities. Yet when you're out here, it's just so much dang fun. It's tough to explain off. Now, does anyone ever give you a bad time saying, "Do you think maybe you shouldn't be playing football at this stage?"
I mean, every once in a while. But I think for the most part, it's kind of nice too. I think that's the other thing that's really nice with the league is I feel like the families and your loved ones are generally pretty supportive of the players and the teams and everything else. So like see them out in the stands and in the gear and all that kind of stuff. It's even encourages that you did that much more to kind of go out there and do everything you can. So it's fun. It's really fun.
You go out there in the moment, give you everything you got, and then walk off and realize then you got other things going on. But it sure is a lot of fun. Speaking of other things going on, give us a little history on your Northwest Athletic apparel. I mean, I tell you what, good looking stuff. That's the thing. We commented earlier on how it's really reasonable, very reasonable prices. But the thing I've noticed is just how sharp. It's like your cutting edge style, so to speak. Give us a little background on how you got involved with Northwest Athletic apparel.
I mean, basically what it kind of started off was wanting to actually find something that would work for, because when we first, Hurricanes started about 2 years ago, so when we first got the team started and I was thinking about, what were we going to do, one of the big things was, let's get we want to look good. You look good, you play good. It's kind of the same thing. So we wanted to have something that's good, but at the same time, something that was affordable for everybody so that, our players weren't coming a large amount of money out of their pocket because obviously, and then two, the team could afford to have spare uniforms and all that kind of stuff too, because obviously that's necessary for any kind of good running team. But when you're a new team, you can't afford to spend
There's
a lot.
so much money. It costs so much money to get started.
It's amazing when you go to some of the the big name brands and you look up one uniform. It was
just
insane.
one uniform.
Yeah, it was insane. So after doing a little bit of that initial searching, I realized, well, what if I can actually find a way to do it better? And so that really kind of got the wheels turning as far as the Northwest Athletics apparel. And from there, I just kind of built on it, made connections, and spent almost probably a good 6 to 8 months just in the process of building up the connections, building up the business, finding the right suppliers and factories and everything else that I could network with. And so, by the time our inaugural season kind of rolled around, we were kind of ready to go. So it's been kind of rolling ever since then. So we started up in last year, and then we kind of rolled into this year, and we got a lot more busy and done a lot more things, and people kind of can see the difference.
Right.
So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Wow, that's a great story. That's almost a business class on how to start a business, Mike. We have two amazing businessmen here.
Yeah,
started up at Cgame.live with Chip and Northwest Athletic Apparel. That's a very interesting story. Wow, fantastic. Well, thanks a lot for coming up here and spending some time with us.
Definitely.
Thanks a lot for sponsoring these games.
Me.
And I think we have something to cut to here, right, Chip?
That's right. And I'll be back with play.
Oh, and we'll be back with the play-by-play.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Hey, I think normally here, what I always do when I'm interviewing someone, I tell them the question.
What if I told you
it only takes 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2.
What if I told you?
you have the power?
The power.
The power
In just 2 minutes.
to save a life.
Save a life.
To save a life.
Are you in?
Are you in? Honey, we all have one thing in common.
One thing in common.
We're all the same.
We all have the power to save a life
and improve up to 50 lives.
Every day, 123,000 people
are waiting for a life-saving transplant.
Every day.
Every 10 minutes.
Someone's added to the waiting list.
Did you know that every major religion in the U.S. supports organ, eye, and tissue donations?
Cerca del 62% de los que están en la lista de espera son de diferentes nacionalidades y culturas.
Sign up to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor today.
And be sure to share your decisions with your loved ones.
You don't need them when you're gone.
But others do.
You have the power to donate life.
Are you in?
Have you registered? Stop and go to donatelife.net and see how easy it is.
The first half of tonight's live play-by-play coverage starts now.
And here we go. So they had the toss of the coin to decide who's going to receive, and the Raiders from Portland are going to take the ball, therefore kicking off for the Northwest Hurricanes. And it's a pooch kick there, caught up close by number 2, but breaks to the left side, top of the screen. Dia gets a little block, gets a good return with a short kick that gets them over the 50-yard line, and they will start 1st and 10 from the 45, heading in the first series of the game. Now, what we're going to try to do is figure out the numbers. We have the roster, but unfortunately, it's alphabetical. So number 4, number 1 for the Hurricanes there are on defense. That's on the right of the screen.
Raiders with their first possession.
Raiders come out, got big offensive line up there. Now, we saw them last year in the playoffs. They had a good, powerful running game, and that's what we're expecting this game. They got 4 wides, 2 to the bottom of the screen, 2 to the top. Shotgun with the back set behind the quarterback. That's an offsides right there. Defensive end on the right-hand side for the Hurricanes comes flying off the edge, but he's off a little. Oh, no, they're going to call it on Portland. What happened there was a Portland player moved. That drew the defender offsides. They stopped the ball right there because when the offensive person jumps, you stop the ball right away. When the defensive person jumps offside, it is considered a free play, and they let the ball go. They let the play move on or play on. With the idea is that the offense has a chance. Nothing bad can happen. If they throw an interception or something like that, they get the penalty and get the ball again. But so here we are, 2nd and 15. Surveying the defense is the quarterback. There's a snap. Going up over the top. He's got a little bit of a window over here. Number 11 catches it. Nice play there. He was not badly covered. It was pretty good coverage on the play. We watch here down to the bottom of your screen. That is the person that's going to get the ball. But watch him use his body to shield the defender off, opening himself up, opening up a small window that the quarterback was able to drop the ball in. So that's a total opposite plays. First play was offsides against Portland, sets them back. The second play, nice over the shoulder catch down the sidelines by the receiver. The Raiders saunter up to the line of scrimmage. 3 trips to the top. Now watch for combination routes there at the top of your screen to the left of the formation. Single back in the pistol set. There, he's looking left all the way, putting it up into the corner of the end zone. The quarterback, a little overthrown there. The quarterback on that one misjudged just a bit where the out of bounds line was. That was one of those timing plays, because on that play you'll see the ball thrown way before the receiver even looks. So that's a timing play, and that's one where the quarterback lets go of the ball before the receiver even makes his final cut and looks back for the ball. In that case, the quarterback put the ball a little bit outside, in fact, outside of the playing field. So here we are, 2nd and 10, scoring position, coming from the 17-yard line. Now we got 4 wides, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Single back set out of the shotgun, calling out the signals. He's looking left all the way. There's a combination into the corner of the end zone. He's there. It drops it in. Is he in bounds? That's the question. The officials say he is. That was one heck of a play by number 1. We like number 1. Now I got to search the roster because, again, they're not numerically in order. It's alphabetical. Wait a minute. But number 1's easy to find. Hakeem Pearson is on the reception there. What a play. Dropped it right in the gap. There wasn't not much room. There wasn't not much room on that particular play. Good coverage. In fact, he was double covered. The ball dropped right where it needed to be, and he was able to pull it down. So the Portland Raiders take the opening kickoff, drive down the field, have a misfire on their first play, but it ends up with 6 points on the opening drive of the afternoon. Getting ready for the snap of the extra point. It's down. Ball's up. And it's good. Well, that's how you like to start off the game, obviously. Take the opening kickoff, drive down the field, slam it into the end zone, and take a 7-point lead. We got 13-18 left in the first quarter. So now, and it's always a challenge when your opponents take the ball, drive right down the field, score on your opening series, then there's always the challenge for the team that kicked off. Now they're going to take the kickoff. They're going to return it, and we're going to see what happens with their first series. It's always a little pressure. It always puts a little pressure on you when your opponents take the ball down and score on the first series. Early in the game, obviously, so it's not that it's a vital series here for the Hurricanes, but it's a good time to respond to an opening drive score, and that's always a big deal. I tell you what, when you get the ball first, that is such an important point, is to be able to drive down the field and score on your opening possession. Sets the message, sets the tone, sets the attitude. That's a good way to start a game. That's obvious, but it is a really important mentally to score on your first series. And then it's important for the Hurricanes to be able to take this kick, and the kick is off, field it, and get something going on offense. He's got a lead back, cuts up, turns around, runs over his old man, and is down at the 30. That's still good position, though. Field position to start the game. And one thing I would like to do is I'd like to thank Northwest Athletic Apparel for their support of this broadcast. Bryce Williams was nice enough to stop by, and we talked to him earlier, and gave a quick little introduction on how to start a business. And he is a Northwest Athletic Apparel, great company. And let's see, we're on the 30-yard line. Here come the Northwest Hurricanes. They shotgun, but with a full backfield. Two backs. They got two wide receivers, one to each side. Handoff inside. Stutter step inside. Hits. Made a pretty quick move inside, but then suddenly stopped as he was swallowed up by the interior of that defensive line. The Raiders, we covered them last year in the playoff game when they were playing against the Puyallup Nation Kings, and what I took away from that game was the Raiders have a stout interior defensive line, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on up front. We got the big guys there, number 54 down here at the bottom of the screen on the right. Then the nose guard, we love the nose guard, 93, and at the top 53. Little confusion on the play, quarterback takes it, tucks it, and run. And a nice little gain considering that was a broken play. You always like to have a quarterback that has the wherewithal, has the understanding of the game, that when things don't work out exactly as it was planned, he's able just to tuck it and run, and gained 3-4 yards. So now we're third down, the first third down of the game for the Portland Raiders. Third and about 3 here. Break the huddle. Come up to the line. 4 wides, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Oh, but now they're redirecting. The quarterback redirects number 15 to the top of the screen. He's going to be in the slot. Some question on the setup there. So that's what used to be called the laser screen. That's where the receiver, a wide receiver, takes a step across and then comes back for the quick pass from the quarterback. The other receivers then go downfield and try to throw blocks. That was the case where the person who was designed to get the ball lined up on the other side. That was why the quarterback had to redirect them. It's like, hey, you're getting the ball. You better be in the right spot to get it. Didn't gain anything on that particular play. One of the things on these laser screens, it's tough because if the defense is aware that this type of play can come, as soon as the receiver, the wide receiver, who is the one that's going to get the ball in the screen situation, as soon as he steps away from the line, going backwards, that's a tell, that's a giveaway. The laser screen is coming, and the defense was alert to that. Here we go. So the running back started a little early. That's offsides. Now what you usually want to do, if you do that, you're the running back. If you then break it off sideways laterally, you can pretend that was planned, that you're supposed to go in motion. In that case, though, now the rule actually is that you can't simulate the start of a play. So even if you were going to go in motion, you can't pretend that the play's about to start. You can't make that quick move forward and then go in motion. So that's one of the reasons that the officials can call an offside on a running back, is he's simulating the start of the play. And reiterating what I stated just a second ago, if you are a running back and you mess up, you forget the count and you jump a little early, just flatten it out, trot to the sidelines, and pretend it's a call for motion.
And we're going to have our first timeout by
So we got 4th and about 8.5, say 4th and 8. Been moving backwards the last couple of plays, so they take timeout. They're going to talk about it. And while they take their timeouts, one of the things that I love this shirt that I got from Pregame.live, but you know, it's getting a little faded. Chip, you know, maybe you should call Northwest Athletic Apparel and see if we can get some new gear here, because if your gear has lost its luster or missing the it factor, well, let me tell you about an affordable quality option in the uniform game. Yeah, you guys know where I'm going with this one. Northwest Athletics Apparel. Now, that's not your ordinary run-of-the-mill apparel company, as you know, of course, because we talked to Bryce Williams, who started the company. He was up here, obviously not just your average salesman. Great man, gave us real good insight into how the company got started. And Northwest Athletics Apparel, it's not your run-of-the-mill company. All right, here we go. 4th and about 8. They're going to punt it, which makes sense at this time. Got a little bit of pressure on him. Number 5's back, steals the ball, and then goes down.
It's going to be fielded by the Raiders' number 5. And that is where the Raiders will take over 1st down and 10.
And that's one of the things there is that you want to, even though he didn't get any more yards on the return, the main thing is he caught the ball. That's a big point with some coaches, is catch the ball on punts. If you just fair catch, that's good enough. You don't have to get any return, but catch the ball, because if it hits the ground, it almost always, usually, will then add more yards to the punt, which means more yards. The offense has to come back. And here we go. Okay, second series of the game for Portland. Touchdown lead.
Gives to the running back.
Handoff inside. Good hard run.
Close to the 50.
Almost the 1st down. That's a good 1st down play. Gain of 8 yards. The down here on the bottom, the wide receivers, even though that was a run play, the wide receivers made a couple interesting little moves together. So I'm going to say coming in the next few plays, I think something down here, number 11 and number 17 down here at the bottom of the screen to the right of the formation. Now we got trips down here. I think they're going to run some interesting route combinations. And there's not, one person is not covered down here. They got 3 receivers and only 2 defensive backs. One is back, so one of these guys is open. I can tell you that right now. I'm not even calling it. Wait, call the play. Yeah, the 13 says, hey, dude, no one's covering you. I think I'm going to throw you the ball. There we go. No one's covering him. Oh, over the middle. Catches it, breaks between 2 receivers, and he is gone. That was a sweet play. It was helped out by the fact that the defense chose not to cover one of the 3 receivers. But that was a good play. Look at him run away from the defenders. That's the other thing, too. That was a pretty good run. Once he got the ball, he just accelerated out of there. So the Raiders jump out to a quick 2-touchdown lead. We still have 8:43 to go in the 1st quarter. Again, we watched them last year in the playoffs when they were still in the Pacific Football League. For years, the Pacific Football League, that was down in the Oregon area. That was one of the class leagues of all the amateur football on the West Coast. And unfortunately, they ran on some hard times. The other thing, too, is this Western Washington Football Association is just a very powerful organization. Up to 15 teams now, 3 divisions. They got them to jump, and by they and them, I believe it was the Raiders. Well, let's wait a second. I thought the Raiders jumped, but yes, they did. So the defense jumping around, that's from the Hurricanes. They were able to get the Raiders to flinch, move them back 5 yards, and makes it more of a field goal than the typical extra point. So unfortunately, the Pacific Football League folded. And in fact, last year when the Raiders were up here playing the Kings in the playoffs, we announced that the Raiders were going to join the Western Washington Football Association.
Kick is up. This will be good.
And it's good for a quick 2-touchdown lead for the Raiders. So now is the time for the Hurricanes to respond. The good thing about this game, if you look, the numbers, as far as numbers by the number of players, are equal here. Well, the home team has a few more players, the Hurricanes, but the Portland Raiders, they also have a good contingent made the trip up from the Rose City. So it was like last week, one of the problems early on in the game, it was pretty equal, but when one team has so much fewer players than the other team, by the end of the game, things can get out of hand. The good thing here is that the numbers are high enough on both teams that they should still be able to be competitive late into this game. And now is the time for the Hurricanes to create a competitive situation. Now, what you really should do, if you have a team and you need to outfit it, you should experience the comfort, fit, and stylings of Northwest Athletic Apparel. And hey, what you can do is email them at NWA Apparel, that's NWAAPPAREL at gmail.com. And here we go. The boot is off. Good deep kick. Going to be taken about the 18. Breaks off to the left side. Turns it up. Sees the gap. Starts going and he gets walloped. That was a pretty good hit there by number 23 coming down on the coverage. 23 for the Portland Raiders. Number 8 for the Hurricanes was a man returning that ball. I got a good pop off the, he got the ball, turned it up, got a good explosion, and then got hit pretty dang hard there on the coverage for the Portland Raiders. Now there's also a website, www.nwaa.biz, and that's how you can also check out some of this great apparel. All right, here we go. Shotgun. 2 men to the top, breaks out. The slot receiver goes upfield about 5 yards, break to the sidelines. He's a little bit open. Ball a bit misfired there. So we come back to the huddle, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Ball's on the 36-yard line, 8:19 to go in the first quarter. Now is the time for the Hurricanes to get on down the field, break the huddle rather quickly. We got 4 wides, 2 to the top, as you can see, 2 down here. Shotgun with the back, the pistol set. Hands it off inside. He's got a gap. Oh, man. Number 50, the big middle linebacker there. He's a big guy. That is one big guy there playing middle linebacker. He read the draw, and that's one of the things that as a middle linebacker, when you see pass, you need to drop. It's going to drop into typically the hook curl zone. That's basically you're going to angle out of the middle to the sideline where if the tight end runs up and does a button hook, or if a wide receiver is doing a curl over the middle, you'll be in that area. But you got to check draw, and that's what he did. Shotgun again. He's set. Guy off the right end. No one's there. Number 23 hits him as the ball's up in the air. It's in the air, and it's picked off by number 3. That was some good hands. Let's see this. Now watch the guy off the edge. Number 23. No one picked him up. Quarterback never knew he was there. That's some good hands there. Number 3 picking it out of the air. Easily could have dropped that down. Oh, there he goes. Let's see that one more time if we could. The deal is number 23 comes off the edge, and not quite sure why no one picked him up. Quarterback never knew he was there, because they talk about it all the time where your quarterback, he has a sense. He has the eyes in the back of his head, they'll say, how he knows the rush. No quarterback's going to be able to pick that up. You're rolling away from him. You're looking at you're looking to the outside, the direction you're rolling, because the defense, what has to happen on the defense is if a quarterback rolls to the right of the defense, someone on that side of the defense has to come across. Defensive back, off to the defensive back or linebacker, that's who the quarterback's looking for. So he never saw that guy. Okay, here we are. Portland, great scoring position. Looking to the right all the way, the ball's up. It's going to be a jump ball. It would have been a jump ball, except the receiver stumbled. He never was able to put up a fight for the ball. You look down here on the bottom, the quarterback is doing an alley-oop up high, let the receiver get under it, but the receiver falls. Good footwork by the defensive back to stay in bounds. So that's a big turnover. Here we go, Hurricanes. Here we go. You got the big opportunity. You dodged the bullet, as they say. I mean, that was about the Portland Raiders could have put this game away right there. They're down there deep in their own area, scoring position. Big turnover. Way to play, way to keep his eyes on the ball, talking about the defensive back. And then when the receiver stumbled, it was just there for the DB. Good body awareness, though, to keep his feet in. He was close to the sideline. And that's just a long incompletion if he steps out before he has possession of the ball, the defensive back. But he had good concentration, pulled it in, and turned the ball over to the offense. So here we go, Hurricanes. Now's the time to make something happen. We're excited for a shotgun. Not a good start, bobbles. But sometimes this is when you get the little opening, and sometimes not. Yeah, that was not good from the very beginning. Bobbled the snap, then fumbled with it a little bit, had to turn, run outside. Was good awareness. Quarterback kept the ball, or excuse me, the play alive. Good awareness of the situation. Got outside, threw the ball away. Excuse me. Okay, here we are. Quick out. Unfortunately, the receiver goes down. That would have been nice to have caught that. Give him about 5 yards. Okay. Well, let's see what they got in the playbook for this type of situation. They've had some. They've been on the road for the last 3 games. Their first game here was a victory. Then they've had some trouble out on the road, and we're hoping to maybe change things up, being at home again for the Hurricane. That's going to be an interesting call here. The offensive guy did move, however, and this is how the rules have been changed recently. If a defender gets off the ball and looks like he has a chance to go unabated to the quarterback, the offense then has the right to move and respond to that, and that's exactly what they're calling there. Because back in the old days, of course, defensive could jump around, could jump across the ball and come back, and if the offense moved, it was offensive offsides. They changed that to protect the quarterback and also to protect the offensive players. Well, now that guy that jumped, he just moved again. This is the case where once you're set, you can't move out of your stance. Even though he wasn't in a hand, his hands wasn't on the ground. He was in a set position, and then he moved, and then that's so they just traded 5 yards back and forth. So here we go, 3rd and 10. 2 receivers at the top, 2 down here. Quick over the middle. Ah, man. Got to help your quarterback out there. He was open. That was a quick move over the middle. That's typically where the linebackers will drop to, but they didn't. The linebackers didn't have enough time to drop out because it was a quick slant, and that's one that you would like your receiver to be able to hold on to. Okay, here we go. 4th down, deep in their own territory, and we have another flag. So Portland has 2 returners back. I think they're giving a sideline warning.
On the Hurricanes by the referee.
Yeah, the sideline warning, that is either people have encroached on the sidelines. Here's the kick.
Kick is away. It's a short kick.
Short kick. Added a few yards there. In this case, Portland has 2 kick returners back. And they do that. The reason you have 2 back is, well, one will block for the other one, but the other reason you do that is to make sure that you can catch every punt. That's the reason to have 2 people back. However, in that case, the ball was kicked so short that no one was able to get to it. And Portland will take over in pretty good field position. Certainly by the way they've been playing today. Hey, now, once again, Northwest Athletics Apparel, thank you very much. Thank you very much for sponsoring this game. Okay, here we go. 1st and 10. Ball on about the 46-yard line. Portland thus far has had it pretty easy. Well, they're offsides. The receiver down here on the bottom jumped, and that's one of those things where you typically, your wide receivers, since getting off instantly on the ball is not as important when you're a wide receiver. Usually the block isn't that important. If you're running the ball, it's going to take a while to get out there. So the general rule is wide receivers don't go on a snap count. Wide receivers turn in, they look at the ball, and they wait until they see the ball snapped. And that, once again, that's because you typically don't rely on the wide receiver to get off instantly. Like interior linemen have to be a lot quicker off the ball because they're up against the defensive lineman and here comes the ball. The receivers usually wait for the snap, so you shouldn't really be offsides. Okay, here we go. Trips to the top. Look for some type of combination up there. They got two defenders up close, one a little further off. Break to the outside. He's got the ball, cuts inside, turns upfield, which makes the first man miss, but the defense rallies to the ball. He's able to keep it to a minimal gain. Yeah, there was a lot of ball movement and running for a couple of feet of offense. Now, one of the things to watch for when they run these type of quick hitters like that, so we got trips down here to the right, single wide receiver to the top, shotgun is a typical formation right now with the single back there, pistol set. So we're looking for something coming towards us. And once again, they only have 2 defenders on 3 receivers. Instead they hand it off inside. Oh, and there's going to be a little something going on. There was well behind the line of scrimmage, a Raider and a Hurricane were engaged in extracurricular activities after the whistle. I'm going to guess that it's going to be an unsportsmanlike. We're just not sure on whom. 2 flags down there. Personal foul, face mask on the defense. Dead ball foul, personal foul. It's going to be on the offense. Oh, defense. Both of them are. And an ejection. Whoa, there was an ejection, and the Hurricane coach does not agree with that. So the officials will come over to have a little scholarly interaction. And what he said, I can read the body language. The coach is saying that the Portland player grabbed his player, the Hurricane player, and threw him to the ground, and that's why he responded. But you know, it's the old adage in football. We say it all the time. They catch the second guy, the person that retaliates. They say that all the time. Oh, good, they worked it out. The officials and the coach shook hands. That is not typically how those type of interactions end, but again, this is a great league that we're in here. Well, we're still not. Coach doesn't seem to be convinced, but that's how it goes. Now he would like another official to give a better, more in-depth explanation. He's saying, "Hey, now, what are you talking about?" Because what they did to eject a player, that has to be something rather extreme. So, like kicking, tripping, because I saw some footwork out there. So that may be. So they're saying the Hurricane player kicked the Portland player. Oh, apparently the Hurricane player kicked the Portland player. So that's a big gain for Portland. And the double whammy on that is that now one of their top defensive players is going to take a seat on the sidelines. Actually, the rule is he has to leave the stadium. I don't know if he's heading out, but so you got a good player, one of the top defensive players, out of the game. Big penalty for Portland. Snapped inside, looking left all the way. He's got pressure in his face, rolls to the right. Oh, and there's another touchdown for Portland Raiders. And that's one of those deals where the quarterback's under pressure, right? So it looks there, number 5 comes flying through there for the Hurricane. It looked like there's going to be a big loss. Quarterback's able to shake free, and that's what happens when the quarterback is able to extend the play. He's able to roll out, move around. Well, then the defense starts to break down. The defenders, they have to stay on the receiver for long periods of time. That's tough to do. And also, A good receiver then will work back, as they say, work back to the quarterback. If the quarterback is scrambling around, a good receiver will work to an open space, coming back to the quarterback usually, get open. Well, now that's not a route. So you ask the defense, you ask the defensive back, to cover the receiver, well, but he's not running a normal route. And that's what happens. That's why it's important if you're a defensive guy and you break through and you're able to get on the quarterback early. It's important to be able to make that play, because if you don't make the play, all of a sudden it turns around and the advantage can go to the offensive receiver, as long as the receiver is alert and in tune and understands what's going on and starts working with his quarterback. That's one of the things, again, when we watch our beloved Seahawks, and what's fantastic about Russell Wilson, one of the many things that's amazing about him is his awareness of when pressure is coming at him. It's unbelievable how when Russell Wilson sees a defender bearing down on him, he sees it before the defender even knows he's going to bear down on Wilson. It's amazing how, if you watch Russell Wilson, the first step, as he's being flushed, as he's being rushed, his first step is always in the correct direction. Lots of times you see quarterbacks back there scrambling around, and they're just kind of running blind. Here comes pressure. They run over here and they run over there. Russell Wilson, every time he makes the step, it's the right direction to get out of pressure. And that gives his receivers a chance to get open, and we're underway. Kickoff is short. Taking on the 20, breaks to the left, heading up, turning up on the sidelines. Oh, he gets hit as he goes out of bounds.
He's going to get hit out of bounds.
And that certainly could be the call.
It's out to the 35-yard line. First down and 10, Hurricanes.
All right, so let's see some offense here on the Hurricanes. I think it's about time to break out a bit here. And they're a much better team than this. They just run into some misfortune. Things haven't been going their way. Now's a good time to turn it around. 21 points, that seems like a big lead, but as I often say, 21 points, you can score 21 points real quick. Okay, snap inside, handoff inside, cut right, cut left, turns it up, and then that big middle linebacker, number 50. We saw him make a big hit a little earlier, and he's there to shut down the run. Or it looked like he had some room, hits the gap, turns it up, starts to gain yards, and then hello, number 50 shows up. Yeah, I really thought there was going to be more yardage gained on that play, but that was because I wasn't paying attention to number 50 there. I'm going to look down the roster. Like I said, it's alphabetical. And maybe I'll come across number 50, and if I do, I will definitely mention his name. All right, here we go. Quick pass off to the right. Coming back, reverses it. It was exciting. That was an exciting way to lose three yards. Good move, he's just trying to keep it alive. Hey, what? You got to do something. All right? Now, of course, this is one of those things where when you look at the result of this play, you'd be likely to say, well, you know what you do, turn it up and get what you can. And we say that all the time on these broadcasts. Yeah, that's what we like when a running back or receiver, he sees what he gets, turns it up, get what you can, and then you go ahead, go down. Well, when you're down 21 points in the first quarter, that's probably the time when you might want to dance around a little bit, see if you can break something loose. Here we go, 4 receivers, 2 to the top, 2 down here. It's the same formation. He's back. He's looking right all the way. Quick out. Was intercepted. Return for a touchdown. Okay, so. Well, they're clearly, let's run that again, because look at the receiver. He's doing an out and up. So let's see that again. Because the receiver breaks out down here. Look at the ball. Receiver breaks out. There he is. The ball's thrown. He doesn't even look. He's not even looking. Now he turns it up. I mean, if number 15 had at any point turned and looked, the ball was coming to him, and then it was not overly enthusiastic on chasing down the interceptor.
Big 6 by number 24.
You always, as a defender, that's what you dream of. The old pick six, pick it off, return it for a touchdown. That's 27-0 with 2:35 to go. And that kick is good. Yeah, so there definitely was some miscommunication between quarterback and receiver on that last play. The receiver made a quick out, 5 yards and out. Quarterback was expecting that. He threw the ball, and then the receiver turned it up, never looked back for the ball. And the defender saw what was going on, was able to step in front and pick it off, and that's a great feeling as a defender. Great pick six, as they say. Well, I'm thinking now's about the time for the Hurricanes to put together a offensive series. Or better yet, how about return to kickoff? Return to kickoff for 6 points. And that was it. You know, again, we mentioned earlier that Portland was playing in another league last year, and the Western Washington Football Association saw a quality team there, and when Portland wanted to make the move to our league, it was all yes. It was such a good idea, and they move up here, and they're one of the classes of the league. They're in Division II. They're leading that division. Good kickoff. Taken at about the 12-yard line, breaks to the middle, running high, turns it up, makes another move, makes a man miss, starts to the sidelines, and then he's corralled. Makes it back to about the 30-yard line. So Hurricanes are going to start off from the 30-yard line.
And that is where the Hurricanes will take over.
You know,
and 10.
Here we go. I'll tell you what, the Portland Raiders, they're making waves on game day, and Northwest Athletics Apparel has everything that your youth or adult team would need to make waves on game day. So it's a normal formation. A quick handoff inside, breaks to the outside, turns it up. Good square, number 23. Let's run that again just because that's a form tackle. Watch number 23 come up as a defensive back. He reads it quickly. Comes up, but what's good about it, watch him break down, as they say. Keep square. Can we see that play again? Well, that was good alertness. Number 23 out here, a defensive back down to the bottom of the screen. And the point I'm making there was as the ball carrier was coming at him, number 23 came flying up, but then broke down, got his feet, stayed square, made a good hit. Back to pass, got some pressure, steps up. Oh, there's got to be flags on that. And I think that's a disqualification. I don't know if they have the rule in this league, but there's no question that's a headshot. Yeah, that guy should be out of the game. And they need to look at the rules there because, as we were talking earlier, these guys have real lives after this. That was clearly a blatant shot. And it's time. The problem is, like the NFL, then the pro leagues don't have this rule. In college, you do something like that, you're ejected. And this league should put that in there because, again, these guys, we had that great conversation with the owner of Northwest Athletic Apparel before the game. And the point, you get out there, you're intense, you love the game, but you have families. You have a life away from this game. And this happened last year a couple of times where against the Kings, our quarterback, the guy jumps off sides. He's not even picked up. He comes, he lowers his head, boom, lays the quarterback out, and it's just a 15-yard penalty. Right? And that's wrong. This league does need to do that. They need to protect these players. When a player takes a shot like that, the offender, the guy that delivers the blow like that, should be ejected. And they need to change this rules and get that type of play out of this because we don't need it, especially again at this amateur level where the guys have to go to work tomorrow. Yeah, the league needs to look at that. They got to stop that type of plays. I've seen that type of play too many times in this league. Okay, quick laser screen to the sidelines. However, There was a whistle. From where the flag, it must be some type of offensive offsides or.
Against the Hurricanes, backs them up. Replay first down.
Okay, so it is against the Hurricanes. So that'll be 1st and 15 from the 39-yard line. We got the 2 wides to the top, 2 to the bottom. One running back set alongside the quarterback. He's in motion to the top, so you got trips to the top now, some type of combination. Quarterback steps up, starts to run. Oh! And how's that not a flag? Let's run that one again. Run that one again. Looks like to me like a forearm to the head. Okay. It might not have been as intentional as I thought it was. I guess I'm just kind of worked up over that last play. I mean, these guys, again, they got to go to work tomorrow. They got real lives. We got to do a better job of protecting the guys at this level. Okay, here we go. Quarterback's back. He's quick snap over the bottom. Oh!
And it's going to be incomplete.
Incomplete pass. So that brings up 3rd and about 12. Quarterback actually is having some time back there. They have a good rush on him, and quarterback's able to stay in the pocket and step up. So that's good. As always, as long as your quarterback is not getting hammered, as long as your quarterback has enough time to at least find a receiver, you always got a chance to come back. Always got a chance to make it a ball game. Here we go. Again, the running back motions to trips. Laser screen once again. Yeah, that was you want.
Brings up 4th down.
Yeah, that would be a nice one to catch there. I think that the Portland defense is kind of getting used to that formation. You got trips, and then they run a quick, as we call the laser screen. That's where one of the receivers just makes maybe a quick move and then steps back. There seems to be a confusion over the football. At least there's 2 out there. All right, I'm going to switch the balls. So, punt formation. Quick kick, a lot of air on it.
Good kick, is going to go out of bounds.
However, it goes out of bounds at about the 29-yard line.
29-yard line is the marker.
A little over half a minute to go in the opening period. The Portland Raiders clearly have the game in hand at this point. And they're going to take the snap to end up the last snap of the first quarter, I'm guessing. So the Raiders huddled on the sidelines and then take the field. So the play's already called. They know what's going. They know what they're going to do. Big offensive line there with the Raiders. They were powerful last year, and they look pretty powerful this year. Trips to the top. One wide receiver down here at the bottom. Handoff inside, off tackle.
Back on left.
Good change of pace. Didn't make too many yards, but it's always good to run out of the passing formation like that. And that's the end of the first quarter, with the Portland Raiders, the new entry into the Western Washington Football Association, with a handy lead. So as they switch sides of the field, one of the things that I particularly like about Northwest Athletics Apparel is they go beyond the call of duty to provide quality customer service at competitive pricing. And that's a big thing too. And their owner was up here, and he was commenting how you want to, you want to put a team out there, whether it's youth league or adult league, And the problem is it's the expenses. It's tough to be able to financially put together an organization such as the Raiders or the Hurricanes and to provide them with good, high-quality, good-looking equipment and apparel. Well, that's what Northwest Athletics apparel is all about. They put their experience to work for you. They get comfortable equipment and uniforms. The fit is great. The styling's, hey, they look sharp. So if you want to get a hold of them, give them a call. Like, for example, you want to take a look at their latest 2018 uniform catalog. It's got everything you need there. And you can see that at www.nwaa.biz. The extension is biz. It's Northwest Athletic Apparel.biz. NWAA.biz. Write that down. Those are the people you want to talk to. Okay, here we go. Portland. Trips down here to the bottom. One guy to the top. No tight end. One back set alongside the shotgun quarterback. Looking over the defense. There's the snap. Quick pass over to the left side. Tight end type catches it, makes a move, turns it up, adds a couple of yards after the catch. YAC, yards after catch. That's always something that you look for in a receiver. And so, third down and about 2 yards to go. Break the huddle, trips to the top. The Hurricanes are playing pretty loose on the top up there. The trips guy. The slot receiver would be the one you might be looking at. And the handoff inside. Good defensive play. Makes a quick move to the left side of the center. Not much there. Cuts back across. Good defensive pursuit. That was a biggie. That was a big one. I mean, that's the type of play you would run offensively. That's, 3rd and 1. Been doing a lot of passing. That's right. You do trips to the top and then hand the ball off inside. That was a good call. But the Hurricane defense spotted what was going on and were not fooled by the formation. Were able to come up and make the hit. I thought that was a first down. Nice quick little cut. Turns it upfield to the ball carrier. Does this, and but not much there. Okay, trips to the top. Fake inside, rolls to the right. He's got some open room. There's the pass. Number 86 catches it, turns it up. Oh, a great peel back block by the Portland receiver. Yes, indeedy. You see that. Here we go, head on a swivel. There's number 28. Look out, 28. Oh, man, it was a good, clean hit, too. Into the body, and there's something here. It's called head on a swivel. And this actually is a rule. So you young guys out there, if you're out there playing, every 3 to 5 steps, if you're running, every 3 to 5 steps, you just do a quick head on a swivel, scan side to side. And you do that all the time. Anytime you're running every 3 to 5 yards, do a head on the swivel, scan and you can do that. You can do that without losing any speed. You just always want to do that whenever you're running on the football field because you don't know where the big hit is coming from, like that last one. Great peel back. You got to be aware of that. Handoff. Oh, no, it was just an errant snap. He was trying to run. He was going to try to pass to the left, but he takes off to the right, rolls around the corner. That was a pretty good alert play by the quarterback. The quarterback takes a snap. He's looking for a quick pass to his left, to the bottom of our screen here. But the defense picked that up. They covered it really well. Number 3 was alert. Number 3 for the Hurricanes. He saw what was going on. He was thinking pick 6. He comes across, covers it. The quarterback is alert enough to not throw that ball because that would be a pick 6 for the defense. Instead, he rolls around to the right, gets some big yards, and that first down, and they're rolling into scoring position once again. So we got trips down here to the bottom of the screen. Quarterback surveying the defense. Here we go. There's a snap. He's looking left all the way. Puts it up over the top. He's got a guy. It's going to be a jump ball. Whoa! He had a man open for a second. The receiver had to slow down a little bit. You see, he had to slow down a little bit to come back for the ball. and he was able to break it up. The defender was able to get in there. See what the receiver did there, though? He got it. It's the highest point. See how he did that? He slowed down. Now, if he kept running, then the ball would have hit him down around the hand level, around shoulders, but the defensive guy could have got into it. So what the receiver did there was smart. He slowed down so that he had to go and get the ball at its highest point, thereby preventing the defender from having a shot at it. Good smart play on the offensive receiver. Handoff inside, cuts to the outside, to the left. Got a blocker, turns it up inside. That was a nice little run there. Had a wide receiver. We talk about this all the time. When you see big plays, you often see a wide receiver blocking downfield, and that was what happened there on the left. The running back took the ball inside, didn't see a whole lot, broke it out to the outside, and the receiver to the bottom of your screen out here on the left was throwing a block. The running back read that block, cut right inside of it, got the extra few yards. So that was a good combination. Good play by the running back, reading the receiver, throwing the block, and then making the correct cut off of that block. And again, the receiver getting downfield and throwing a block. Two people working together on that. Synergy, quick snap to the right, one of the laser screens. Defender was on that. The idea on those is the other two receivers, so you have trips out there. One receiver is going to step back, get the ball right away. The other two want to try to get out and throw blocks. In that case, the one person that was not blocked, that was the guy that was covering the receiver that caught the ball originally. And that's the guy you do have to get out and block, because that's the guy that's going to read that. Right? His guy steps back, the defender sees the receiver step back. Well, that's a pretty good indication that that type of play is going to happen. That's the person the other receiver has to block. The other receiver has to get out there and block the defender who's on the receiver who caught the ball. Handoff inside, breaks to the left, turns it up. Good pressure by the defensive back for the Hurricanes. That's number 23. Look at this. He reads it well. That was good defense. You get upfield, try to turn it in. And when you're in a situation like that, when you're on the corner, when you're on the outside and they're running to you, the thing is to get upfield and then get low. You can't just run upfield and get driven past the ball, but you really just need to get upfield and last time what we call sit down. So that was a smart play there. This isn't one of those things where you have to be in great body position and really fight off the blocker. If you're the edge and they're coming out there, get upfield and make the running back cut inside of you. Good play on the defense there. Hey, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Looked like we had a jump. And I'm guessing it was the receiver there at the top. Started a little early. Okay, so look at the top of the screen here. Yeah, that's the receiver. And once again, this is something we talked about earlier. Receivers typically aren't supposed to go on the snap count. They just wait for the ball to be snapped. You know, another reason, of course, it's not as loud here, but the other thing, too, is if you have a crowd, a large crowd, the receivers aren't going to be able to hear the snap count anyway. So that's the second time we've seen a receiver jump off sides. And again, right, if you're a wide receiver, don't go on the snap count. Wait for the ball to be snapped. Okay. 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. He's looking left, steps up, steps into the pocket, puts it up over, wide open and out. And there, you see that? That look right there, number 3, the Hurricane. That body language tells you that somebody didn't have the receiver. And you can tell that when 2 defensive backs, it's always one points with one arm and the other one puts both arms out. What that means is, that's not my guy, that's your guy. And they're both saying that. And here's a truism in football. When 2 people say, that's not my guy, there's a problem. So the good thing there for the Hurricane was the fact that the ball is out of bounds. That was a sure touchdown. The receiver was wide open. So we've seen a couple times actually where the score could be even a little more lopsided. if the Raiders were able to capitalize on some easy plays. And you know, and that's Mark. Sometimes you see that in good teams. They make the tough plays. They go out there, put together long drives, the tough plays, the tough catches, the good runs they make, and then they have an easy one like that, and they throw the ball out of bounds. So we're going to see a field goal here, field goal attempt. So about a 32-yarder.
Field goal attempt.
Hurricanes are stacking the line. Looks like they're going to come after it. Yeah, boy, they're putting on a rush. And it is good. So, there we go. It's 31-0. Hurricanes will be taking this kickoff, and they're going to matriculate it down the field. That's my prediction. And this is the big one to watch. If you're out there watching it, go get something to drink, grab a beer or whatever, but come back here because this is going to be the series to watch. The Hurricanes are going to put something together on this series. And now is about the right time to get started at 9:14 to go in the first half. Hurricanes in a decided hole. I got to try to work something in there because the eye of a hurricane. Kind of work that into the descriptive analysis of what's going on here. It's a beautiful day for football. It was really hot around here this weekend, or during the week, up in the 80s, but it cooled down. This perfect weather for football. And the kicker signals to the official that he's ready. The official says, kick it. And they kick it. Short kick. It's taken on about the 20-yard line. Cuts to the right. Turns it up. Sees the gap. He's got a hole. Breaks through it. Oh, good little quick snap up there. 23. That is a quick player right there. He saw that gap. He saw that little seam. Not a big one. There's a little seam. He hit it, and he was moving. So that's a good return. Good start. That's exactly the type of kickoff return that I would want if you're going to take the ball down the field and score, to break that goose egg on the scoreboard. I can't wait. After the game, I'm going to go to www.nwaa.biz because I love the Northwest Athletic Apparel's game catalog, uniform catalog. It's a catalog of game uniforms. It's exciting. I go there just to peruse it. Hand off inside, ball's on the ground. And it looked to be live on the ground. It's picked up by the Raiders. That's big number 93. I remember that number anyway from last year. I enjoyed watching him in the playoffs. That number 93 is a special number. I think typically your best defensive lineman will wear number 93. Let me see if I can find it. Well, I don't know what his name is. I will keep looking through the roster because I want to mention number 93. Good player. You know, as I say, typically your best players on defense are number 93. Now, I might just be saying that because years ago, you're getting old when years ago was decades ago. Decades ago, that was my number. So that's why I like number 93. When I was back in the old days when I was an Aztec, I wore number 93. So that's why I like 93. Plus he's a great player. Sure wish I knew who it was. Okay, trips to the top, so watch some type of special combination. Going over the top. Oh, what a play. What a touch. Yeah, there wasn't. See, that's not combination. That's called just run straight down the field. I throw it, you catch it. Look at this play. Break right down the field. Nobody, just right down there. And look where the ball dropped. Any better than that? No. How could you make it any better than that? That was not even that bad a coverage, actually. But he just went by him. Can we see that one more time? That was sweet. Look at the top, very top of your screen. Breaks a quick post, as we used to call that. Drops the ball right where it has to be. The defender was there, but you know what they say, that there's no defense against a perfectly thrown ball. That was a nice play. Okay, they're showing, defense is showing a blitz. Backed out of it. Oh, they fumbled the ball.
Jump pass is going to be knocked away.
It was knocked away by number 38 for the Hurricanes. Good alertness there.
8 minutes and 6 seconds.
That was a muff on that ball. Throws it away. Knocks it away. The defender knocks the ball away. Now, that's one of those things, you know, the rules are that if the defender, because he just knocked it away, that might have been one where go ahead and try to make that catch, because if you catch an extra point like that and you're the defense and you run it all the way down the field, you get 2 points. That's a 2-point return on the conversion. And now, whenever I think about that, I go, man, that is a long ways to run for 2 points, but you can still do that. And one of the good things is in a game like this, you want to get some points on the board for the Hurricanes. All right, we're ready for the kickoff. The kicker signals to both sides, both officials. The officials say, kick it off, and that's what he did. Hurricanes catch the ball in about the 20, cut to the right. Turns it up. He's got blockers out in front of him. There's a little gap. He breaks to the outside again and thrown to the ground. Good return. They're gonna by the end of the game, we're gonna have a lot of kickoff return yards. That's cool, you know, you like that. I like to have a lot of kickoff return yards. The only problem is that lots of times that means you had a lot of kickoff returns, and having a plethora of kickoff returns is not a good sign. All right, here we go. 7:50 to go in the first half. It's been all one-sided. The Raiders. 37-0. There's snap. Fake inside. Cross buck. Come across the other. Turns it up. You know, and every time, that's a good little run there. Nice 6-yard pickup. But it looks like there was more, and I see that. I've been saying that this whole game. Every time you see a Hurricane make a good run, running back breaks. He's going somewhere. Hand off inside to this right. Nothing there. Cuts it back. And loses a few.
Third down.
Okay, so here we are, third down. So as I was saying, it's like you see the Hurricanes, it looks like they're breaking a big play, good run. And then all of a sudden, that Portland defense just collapses on the ball carrier. So they make a couple of good cuts, and then boom. There's snap. He's back looking right.
Quarterback pass. Ball's going to be behind number 4.
Yeah, the ball was thrown behind the receiver. And the receiver seems to think that he was running the correct route, and the quarterback threw it to a different route.
It's going to bring a 4th down.
Because the receiver did make an inside move, like a quick slant, and the ball was thrown to the outside of him. So that does suggest that they need to get back to the chalkboard and draw that one up again and see if they can get on the same page. I guess I'm mixing metaphors there because chalkboards don't have pages, but you know what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. Looking right. Oh, there's the ball. He's got it on the middle. Whoa. Good play, and that was a gutsy play because if you watch the replay, he is in the middle of some big defenders. Look at this. He's right there. There's people collapsing on him. He was able to take the ball, hold it. Good gain. There we go. And that's what you needed. That's the first play to start a big drive down the field. Here we go. All right, they're new life, looking right all the way. Oh, man. And Portland has the ball. We'll see that one again. Off the right end, comes around the end. The only thing is the quarterback was aware of that. See, he sees him. Well, you got that a little late there, but the right defensive end for Portland comes off the edge, gets a good rush. The quarterback actually sees him, tucks the ball away, and then inexplicably rolls into the defender that he had seen a little bit earlier. So that was an unfortunate turn of events there. But again, that's what's so important on their pass defense is the pass rush. People often miss that, but I think it's the most important. Maybe that's because I was a defensive lineman years ago, decades ago, as they say. But that outside contain rush, getting upfield, keeping the quarterback in the pocket, and then taking the ball away. All right, looking right all the way. It's that laser screen again. There we go. Number 7 got out and blocked the defender, turns it upfield. Good hard run. What was different on that play was the receiver that makes a quick move back that's going to get the ball. We can see that again. The receiver, in this case, the other receiver went out and blocked the defender. Number 7 there at the top of the screen is blocking the defender that's covering the receiver that got the ball. And that was what didn't happen the previous time they ran this play, was the defender who's covering the receiver who steps back to get that quick laser screen. That's the guy the other receiver has to block, because that's the guy that's going to read the play, and they did it well on this play. Good block out there by number 7, the wide receiver. Handoff inside, off to the left.
Inside handoff.
Good little gain right there.
It's close to the 30.
Whamming and slamming inside.
Referees can have that.
And you really like it. You'd like to be able to, first down, run it and pick up 5. 2nd and 5 is just, it's a great place to be on the offense. So that, and especially you come out in a passing formation, which is all they run, Portland runs, and you're able on first down to pick up 5 yards rushing. That just opens up everything else on the offense. Now you got 2nd and 5, you basically have a free play. You can go to the end zone on this play. I got 2 to the top, 2 down here. He's looking left all the way. Then goes to a second, redirects the receiver to come back, picks it up. That is just a well-executed play. The quarterback was looking left, looking to the bottom of the screen at first. So that was his primary receiver was down here. One of the 2 receivers split out to the bottom of your screen. That was his primary. They were covered, so he rolls back around to the right. He's going to his secondary or maybe even his 3rd receiver. And he directs them, the receiver, and that's again, right, this is where you got a quarterback and receivers that they're on the same page, is that when your quarterback starts scrambling, the receiver works to an open position. Often you want to come back to the quarterback, but works to the open position. The quarterback on that last play, he actually directed him a little bit with his hands because the quarterback can see the defensive coverage. So that was good communication going to this 3rd tertiary receiver, and the receiver breaking off the route and getting open. Handoff inside, cross to the left, breaks it out a little bit, had a little bit of room, but then the defense rallied to stop him.
It's inside the 5 to the 4.
So they're down about the 4-yard line. 2nd down. 2nd down on the 4. 3.5 minutes before the half. Break the huddle. They started, we got trips to the top. There's only 2 defenders back there. They got to walk a defender out. Okay. There you go. One of the Hurricane defenders now walks out, takes the inside slot receiver.
Inside handoff.
And they just handed off inside, and that was a big hole. Oh, they have a Raider is slow to get to his feet. So let's run that one again. That was a big hole on that. Nice inside run. You really enjoy it when you can come out of the shotgun, hand it off inside, and Really, the only people that got him was the big man there in the middle, and he was one that was slow getting up. Yeah, you really got the game in hand when you're able to run power plays inside out of with 4 wide receivers, no tight end, and a shotgun. And one of the more exciting things was the last extra point. So let's see if they have to start going off on their own. There we go, a little more excitement on the extra point. There's a penalty flag anyway.
Flag going against Portland on the play. Maximum flag. Replay the kick.
So we'll just start again. Portland, maybe they moved offsides. That was a 5-yard penalty, and we're gonna tee it up again.
Kick is up, and it is good.
And we add another point. So now the score is 44 for the Portland Raiders and 0 for the Hurricanes. Two minutes and 57 seconds to go in the first half. And I predict an amazing comeback in the second half for the Northwest Hurricanes. So stick around for that because it's going to be amazing. And the instant replay that we're using here is brought to you by Northwest Athletic Apparel. We're very thankful for them. Had that great conversation with their owner before the game, Bryce Williams. He's injured, not able to play today. Yeah, good old Northwest Athletics Apparel. They provide the quality and affordable. Well, what a great combination. Quality, equipment and apparel, and affordable for youth and adults. Boom! There's the kick. He catches it on about the 16. Oh, makes a good cut to the inside, then cuts back outside. If he could have just kept his balance, man, it looked like something big was going to happen there. The other thing, too, is that if you have a large organization, in NAA, Northwest Athletics Apparel, specializes in bulk orders for teams, and they have things like gloves, hats, compression gear, and shirts. I like the shirts. And they also have the ability to match various styles and looks. Or they'll work with you. This is called in-house. They'll work with you to customize something specific for your team. They'll work with the person ordering to come up with special apparel. So that was a good inside run. Hand off. Running back turns it up. Still working hard. Still hustling. All right, here we go. That was a big gain, 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3. And flags fly. There are multiple flags, so it was apparently obvious. They're calling it against the Hurricanes. I didn't quite see the official's motion. It looked to me like he said shift. Illegal shift. Or, no, oh, thank you. I was pointed out that, no, it was too many men on the field. So technically, too many men on the field, technically that would be an illegal substitution. Wait a minute.
2-minute warning.
And the 2-minute warning. Now, if you want to find out more about this great service Bryce Williams and Northwest Athletics Apparel's offer, you can go to nwaa.biz, like .com extension, .biz, or email them at nwaaapparel@gmail.com, and that's NWAAPPAREL. That's how you spell apparel, at gmail.com. So the teams are on their respective sidelines, meeting with the brain trusts, figuring out what they're going to do here in the last 2 minutes of the first half in beautiful downtown Spanaway. Great view of Mount Rainier through the far end zone. Beautiful day. Beautiful day for spring football. Okay, the Hurricane rush onto the field. Ready to make something happen here in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Ooh, full backfield. Fakes to one side, comes back to the other. And and this is just, it's a reoccurring vision that we have there. Big number 50 making the hit, but the running backs for the Hurricanes, they'll make a cut here, make a cut there, and it looks like they got some openings, and they do. And then all of a sudden, a big dark wave hits them. It's the Portland Raiders. They got some big guys over there, and once they get to you, you're not moving too far. Fake it inside to one hand off to one back, the other back coming across, picks it up, and is able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Timeout. Or Portland, and they see what they got here is it's 4th down. And so Portland knows they're going to get the ball back. Again, that's if they don't if the Hurricanes go for it on 4th down, which I don't imagine they will be, and then the Hurricanes don't get it, then Portland's going to get the ball back, or there's going to be a punt, in which case Portland gets the ball back. So they call timeout to try to save minute and 24 seconds because they're going to try to get up over the half-century mark in the first half. That's always a good thing if you're a team that can score 50 points in a half. That's the mark of a good team. Okay. There it is, going for it on 4th. Looks right. Oh, he breaks. The receiver to the right breaks. Quarterback's got a chance. He still fakes it. Oh. I think what happened there was quarterback wasn't quite sure if he's over the line or not. He had a receiver streaking down the near sideline, number 4, heading towards the end zone, but the quarterback made a good pump, was able to break outside of the pocket, but then was right there on the on the line of scrimmage, was not quite sure if he was still eligible to throw the ball, and he decided to tuck it. 4th down, so the ball is turned over on downs. And there's nothing more that the Raiders would like. They end up punching in for a quick touchdown here.
Timeout now by the Hurricanes.
All right, there's another timeout. Oh, this one is by the Hurricanes. The great thing about Northwest Athletics Apparel is they do believe very strongly in this league, in the Northwest Athletic Association. That's Northwest Athletic Apparel. They are an association, but their name is Northwest Athletic Apparel. They believe strongly in the Western Washington Football Association. And we're really happy that they brought us on to do this game. All right, here we go. Snap. Shotgun. Looks to the right. Receiver drives off, turns around, gets the ball. He's still up. Time to go down. Ball's out. And the Hurricane have recovered it.
Let's check the call. And it looks to be a Hurricane down on the ground. He's slow to get up.
Hurricane player is a little slow getting to his feet. So what that was, a quick turnaround, button hook, as they say. There's number 2, catches the ball, turns it upfield, keeps going, and that, you know that happens. You're struggling for the extra yards, keep struggling. He's got 2 guys, 3 guys over there. Fourth guy coming up is the one that recovers the fumble. Ball's on the ground.
Holding against the Raiders.
And
it's going to be declined because the Hurricanes got the football.
And the Hurricanes have the ball. You see a flag was on the field. The play, that penalty was against the Raiders. They declined it. Turned the ball over to the Hurricane. And you got 1 minute and 4 seconds to make something happen. You know, I tell you what, though, that's a long ways to go. Where is the ball's down there on about the 12-yard line.
1 minute and 4 seconds left to go in the half.
So 88 yards in 64 seconds.
Deep in their own territory.
They can do it. Okay. Quarterback has both running backs in. That'll afford him more protection. 3 wides, but he hands it off inside, and they do that quite a bit. They one running back to the left, cuts across in front of the quarterback to the right. Quarterback fakes to him. Then the next running back, in this case the one lined up on the right, comes across to the left. He's the one that gets the ball. That's a common action, run play action that the Hurricanes have done today. 2 running backs, they cross, one fakes, the other one gets the ball. Now they got a single back in, fakes it to him, he's looking, steps over the middle, catch the ball, okay.
And it is going to be incomplete.
Incomplete. That's a dangerous place to be, turning around, trying to catch the ball over the middle. But that would have been a catch to make. And the Hurricanes called timeout.
And the Hurricanes use their final timeout of the half.
And that's it, you know, you get 3 first half timeouts, and you get 3 second half timeouts. You don't get to use the first half timeouts in the second half. So you might as well use them, and that's one thing I often think, that teams should probably go ahead and use more timeouts in the first half. You know, you can't take them with you. And that's what the Hurricanes did. They said, we got it, might as well use it. Figure out what we're going to do. If you're thinking about making an order for uniforms, you got to contact NWA Apparel at gmail.com. With the NWA advantage on your side, everybody wins. And that's the great thing about Northwest Athletic Apparel. When you order from them, everybody wins. Great stuff, cheap. Okay, here's the shotgun. He's back. He's looking left, looking right. He's got a guy downfield. There it is. He couldn't get it. Oh, it's picked off. Watch the hit. Number 10 turns it up, turns it back, cuts back to the middle, is able to get by, and then the receiver who was going out for the pass is the one that came back and made the tackle. Here we go. Got a guy there, bottom of the screen. Yeah, he's pretty well covered. All right, 28, and 28 stays in the hunt and tracks down the receiver, the interceptor. Good job, 28. That's one thing you do want to see. If you're the receiver that did not get the ball and instead it was intercepted by the person covering you, quite often you see those receivers that are upset, which is understandable, but they don't necessarily track down the defender. And that's one of the things you look for as a coach is, if you're a receiver and a guy picks off the ball, you're the closest one to the defender. Right? The ball was coming to you. So keep your head in the game and go after it. And that's what the Hurricane receiver did. He stayed playing, stayed hustling, and was able to catch the Portland defender. It looked like he had some yards to go. All right, back to pass, looking left. Quick out, he's thrown it out to the left. Oh. It was tipped by the Hurricane. He got up there. Number 3 climbed the tree, so to speak. He got up there high, got his hand on it. The Portland receiver was open. That's some good vertical leap there. Okay, we have 13.0 seconds left. And so I'm thinking that they're going to the end zone right here. The defense, Hurricanes, figure the quarterback's going to have to stay in the pocket a little bit longer, if he's going to have time for the receivers to get to the end zone. So I think I might bring my big pass rush, special rush on this play. Here we go. There's a snap. He's back. He's looking deep. Up in the air. He's got a guy. Jump ball. Incomplete. Good defense. Good defense. The defender kept his position. The defender not quite as tall as the receiver. He was in the position, battled for the ball, knocked it down. That could easily have been a big play for the Raiders. Now, and this will be the last play of the game. Got 6 seconds to go. It's third down, but that doesn't matter because this is the last play of the half. Well, that's my prediction. It could be a quick and complete. I don't know why they would do that though. All right, here we go. Going to the end zone is my guess.
They're trying to put another 6 on the board.
Yeah, see, this is it. The defense, they were fired up. They know the quarterback's going to be sitting back in the pocket for a while. He needs to be back there for the receivers to get downfield towards the end zone, and so they were getting a little quick on the rush. They wanted to get in there and put the pressure on the quarterback. Unfortunately, the rules are you do have to wait for the ball to be snapped before, as a defense, you're allowed to rush the quarterback. They failed to wait the allotted amount of time. I guess it's not a allotted amount of time. They failed to wait until the ball was snapped. And now we're down to 4.9 seconds. And it appears that there has been another timeout called. And the Hurricane are back on the field, ready for the final play of the half. And this really is the final play of the half. This time it is. Here we go. Almost jumped again, snap. A lot of time. Not getting much pressure. Going all the way down to the left corner. They got a guy. He catches it in the end zone. And this is one where, well, you know it's the last play. You got a big lead. That quarterback threw the ball into an area where he was double covered. Wasn't all that good of a throw. Boy, he put some air under it, though. Here we go. There's three defenders around the receiver, and the receiver comes down with it. Good concentration by the receiver, and that happens when you're surrounded by defensive players. Oh, there's a beautiful picture of Mount Rainier. That could be a postcard right there. And then let's put the Northwest Athletic Apparel logo right by it. You know, that could be a billboard. You can put that on a billboard. Okay, so we're going for the extra point. And they got halfway to the century mark on the last play of the half. And now we'll put it over. Bad snap. Oh, and it hits the upright. Well, that was a good way. That was a good way to end it. All right, we got it 50-0 at halftime. With bad snap on the extra point, they were still able to get it down, but it came up just a little short, and it hit the crossbar, bounced up in the air, and then fell down on the null side. If it had fallen on the other side, it would have been the point, but didn't bounce back. You know, when you see something like that hits the crossbar, how impossible is that? I mean, if you had to hit the crossbar to score extra points, no one would score extra points. So that was a unique opportunity there. It's a great way to not go over 50 points. And now we're we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll be back to recap the highlights of the first half and preview what we expect to happen in the second half. So take it away, Chip.
What if I told you
It only takes 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2.
What if I told you?
you have the power?
The power.
The power.
In just 2 minutes.
To save a life.
Save a life.
To save a life.
Are you in?
Are you in? Honey, we all have one thing in common.
One thing in common.
We're all the same.
We all have the power to save a life.
And improve up to 50 lives.
Every day, 123,000 people
Are waiting for a life-saving transplant.
Every day.
Every 10 minutes,
Someone's added to the waiting list.
Did you know that every major religion in the U.S. supports organ, eye, and tissue donations?
Cerca del 62% de los que están en la lista de espera son de diferentes nacionalidades y culturas.
Sign up to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor today.
and be sure to share your decision with your loved ones.
You don't need them when you're gone.
but others do.
You have the power to donate life.
Are you in?
Have you registered? Stop and go to donatelife.net and see how easy it is.
It can be a very quick recap, too. The Portland Raiders took the opening kickoff, drove down the field, scored on their first possession. Then the Hurricane had a chance. They did pretty well in the first possession, but then it didn't work out, and it's pretty much been Portland the whole way so far. They've scored just about every time they had the ball. They've scored a number of different ways. Every once in a while, the Hurricanes put together something. They have some nice plays, and I tell you, they have enough there. We're seeing enough there that I think they can come through in the second half and score a few touchdowns anyway. Hopefully, they will still have the enthusiasm necessary. That's a tough thing, being down 50-0 at halftime, is that you're going to come out, and you're really going to come out fired up and get ready to go. But I think the Hurricanes have a chance to make something happen. They're not outclassed as much as the score says. The game is actually closer than the score. There's just been a few bad plays. There have been a few good plays for Portland. And so in the second half, if you're a Hurricane, you got to think about the fact that Portland, they go in there, they may not come out with the same enthusiasm and fire in the second half. And the Hurricanes, this is it. Come out here, put something together, give us something to talk about up here in the booth, please. We would enjoy that. And let's make something happen here. Beautiful day, beautiful stadium, beautiful downtown Spanaway. And we got another half of football, and it's springtime football. Nothing's bad about that. So come on back and watch the second half with us. And now we're gonna go take it away. Okay, well, we're back live. And we missed the kickoff there, had a little technical difficulty here in the booth. The Hurricanes took the ball. Actually, the kickoff went into the end zone. Hurricanes decided to start off this second half with some aggressive enthusiasm, and so they ran it out of the end zone, got back, good return, got back about the 20-yard line, and then we just had that last play, and here we are live again. We ran into some technical difficulties. We had popping on the microphone for some reason, pop, 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 and so I'm telling you about that, so if there's any technical people out there, you can figure out what the heck happened. So anyway, here we are back, ready to go. Hurricanes open the second half with the ball, moving 2nd and 3. Quick throw to the right. The receiver was not quite sure whether that was a forward pass or a lateral. Lateral is what they're called, but that's a backward pass. And so he had to run back over there and jump on it just in case it was a live ball, but it wasn't. It was simply an incompletion. So 3rd and 3. Yeah, it's too bad we missed that the opening kickoff of the second half, because it was a nice return, one of the best runs so far in the game for the Hurricane. Well, we're in pretty good position there. I got trips to the top. What's the combination block? That's a quick laser screen. We've been seeing that quite a bit. You saw on that one, the defensive back who was not covering the receiver that caught the ball. Because, again, we were talking about that earlier, that the one that will make the play is the defensive back covering the receiver that makes the quick laser screen move, the one step, and then drops back. The defensive back covering him is the one that has the best shot to blow that play up, hit him in the backfield. And so the other receiver out there has to block that particular defensive back. That's the guy that will make the play. Well, on the last play, the defense over there for Portland was pretty smart. Handoff inside. Good run, good hard run, opening up this second half with movement on the offense. You love that. 5 yards on first down. That completely changes that completely changes the attitude of the play calling for the rest of that series. Because now you 2nd and 5. Well, I guess I won't belabor the importance of getting it 2nd and 5, because now we got a face mask, and that's going to be first down. I tell you what, on the opening kickoff of the second half, the ball was taken at the goal line. The person, by the momentum of the ball, was pushed back into the end zone, and so that could have been a touchback, even if you catch the ball on a kickoff inbounds, and your momentum carries you back into the end zone. You can take it down, take a knee there, get the ball on the 20, but the Hurricane start off with the type of competitive enthusiasm that you like to see in a team, especially one that's down by a large amount of points, as the Hurricanes are. So he took the ball, got the ball on the goal line to a kick returner on the opening kickoff. He was driven back into the end zone by the momentum of the football. He didn't take a knee, came charging upfield. Enthusiasm. It was great to see that. Charging upfield, and didn't actually get all the way back to the 20. Would have gotten back to about the same place had he just taken a knee in the end zone. But that's a good way to start off a second half where you're trying to come from way behind. And this is the first series, and here we are, first down over midfield into Portland territory. And at the very first series of this game, I was kind of excited. I really liked what I saw in the Hurricanes. Well, since early in the game, the Hurricanes have not been in this good a field position, at least from their own doing. So they've already gained 50 yards on this. Quick pass out there to the left and through the hands, hits the ground. It does one of those field turf bounces where the ball careens back up into the air. He grabbed it, kept going, but it was an incompletion. All right, here we go. We got trips down here. Got the lone guy to the top. No tight end. Got the slot receiver down here. Quarterback looking left all the way. Steps in. Rolls out. Got time. Winds up. Lets it go into a bunch of people. Good defense by the offense on that play. The receiver made a good defensive play to break up the possible interception. However, back at the Homestead, there's a flag on the field, personal foul, roughing the passer. There you go. We're moving the ball. Moving the ball down the field. And I did not see that late hit because I was watching the flight of the ball. And so it's going to be first down on the 34-yard line. Yeah, opening up the second half with some spirit.
But the thing is, too many people moving hands.
She also said she
Okay, here's a snap. Fake inside, crossback, crosser, and number 60 hits a gap and turns it up. Both hands on the ball and puts some rumbling and bumbling in there. That's a good hard hit and run. That's a big guy, not afraid to stick it in there, runs hard, and gets a first down. Here we go, Hurricanes. This is good, too, because we are going to be covering the Hurricanes on the 14th. There's a snap, crossback inside. He sees the gap and turns it up. There's a flag. And there's going to be, let's see what's going on there. There to the right of the screen, just going out of the frame was where the flag was directed. That was the activity that drew the extraction of the flag from the official's pocket. Now let's see which of the players involved were considered to be rather malicious. Oh, nothing. No, they waved that flag off. So it's just regular activity. It didn't raise to the point of being malicious. So they're just going to let it go. And that lots of times is the best call. I love the way that officials now will wave off a call. Back in the old days, if they threw the flag, they had to call something, and that's where the term make-up call came from, because they had to make a call if you threw the flag, and then sometimes they'd make it up by calling the opposite of that call. And there's once again the receiver is moving before the ball is snapped. This is one of the things I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but your wide receivers typically don't go on a count. They typically go when the ball is snapped. Ergo, wide receivers should not jump off sides. All right, here we go. So they got 4 wides, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. No tight end. There's the snap, handoff inside, right up the middle, running hard. He's charging, he's rumbling. Oh, yeah! Slammed it on in there, too. That's how you run. That's enthusiasm. Look at this play. Okay, handoff inside, quick draw, and look at him just go straight. He's not cutting. He's not moving. Well, that's a pretty good hold there, too. That's a good job on the offensive line. Look at him just accelerate, lower the shoulder. Hello, keep going, keep going. That's the way you run. Ramming, jamming, and slamming them, man. That's it. That's how you get a team fired up. They took a timeout. A little early in the second half, as we were talking about the first half, you don't get to keep your timeouts, so go ahead and use them up in the first half. This is a little bit early in the second half. However, you're down there inside, you're on the 2-yard line. This would be the time to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So if you're going to take a timeout, this would be the place to take it, right down there, opening drive. This is a big one. This is a big one. I'm not predicting that they will come back and win this game, but from what I'm seeing here on this drive, they can make this interesting. You know the old saying, and you usually tell this to a team that's ahead, is you start the second half equal, 0-0. Well, of course, it's the total. Obviously, the total points is what decides who wins the game. But lots of times you like to play it half by half. That's quite often who wins the first half, who wins the second half. And it's, they talk about a moral victory, which a lot of announcers says there is no such thing. Oh, I disagree. I think there is. And the moral victory would be for the Hurricanes to come out here and win the second half. All right, we line up. Here we go. Big opportunity here. We got 2 receivers to each side. Bad snap. Gee, Willikers. I don't know that I'm not necessarily a bad snap, but it had trouble corralling it. And that hurt. He's hitting the backfield, driven back. A loss of a few yards, maybe 5. Oh, I'm giving too many yards on the loss. No, just a loss of a yard. Not as bad as it seemed. Okay, 2 guys at the top, but in tight. Handoff inside. Breaks to the outside. Oh, man. Breaks to the outside. Looks like he had a chance to go, but those Portland defenders, those are just big, strong guys. And it looked like he had momentum. The running back was gaining some ground, had some momentum. He was picking up speed, and then he just ran into the Portland defense, and they shut it down right there. That is one thing about this defense. We've been seeing this all day. When they hit you, you stop. They wrap you up, you go down. This is a good, solid defense. All right, we got trips to the top, but they're in tight. Quarterback fakes it, turns it upfield, and he's in there. Oh, that's a good play. Quarterback, did you see how he turned it up too? He faked the handoff. Here we go. He fakes the handoff, and then he just turns it up, puts his head down, accelerates. Look at that. He looks like a fullback, and he's hitting those big guys. He hammered right into the big guy, that quarterback. He saw what he wanted. He wanted the end zone. He turns it up. He wasn't going to make it. Well, obviously, there's no slide in this case, but he wasn't going to cut out. He wasn't going to cut in. Can we see that again? I love seeing a quarterback. Look at him. Turn it upfield. He's accelerating. He could go outside. Look to the right. There's an empty space out there, but he's accelerating. And he goes, and he knocks one of those big, tough, strong linemen for the Raiders back into the end zone. That was one tough play. That's a tough guy there, that quarterback. So now he's signaling to the wide out, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. And he calls his number again. Oh, gee whiz. Okay, I think that's enough for me for the quarterback running. He sees it, and he's lowering his head again. Lower one time's great. I'm not sure I want him doing that too much more. But there, breaks off to the right. Here comes the guy. Look, he's running right at the guy. Right at him. Boom! Turns it in there. Touchdown. That is the guy. That's the guy. What do they call that? Grit. That quarterback out there. And I've been watching him. You know, he's not been taking the big hits. He hasn't been taken on as far as when he's back to pass. That's where I was going here. He's standing back there, and the Portland is a big, strong defense. They are getting to him, but they're not really punishing him that much. But he doesn't have a lot of time. But he's got the courage. He's got the fortitude to stay in there, stay in this game. And, again, moral victory, 8 points. Opening drive, 8 points. And right now, the Hurricane are in the lead in the second half. They're winning the second half. All right, Hurricane. That's good, too, because as I was mentioning, we're going to watch the Hurricanes again on the 14th of July, and where they'll be playing the Tri-City Rage. And then on the 21st of July, those are our next 2 broadcasts that we have set up right now. The 21st, they'll be taking on the Kitsap Storm, which is a game that we did earlier this year. And by earlier this year, I mean last year. Okay, so now hopefully the enthusiasm and the firiness, I'm trying to come up with a different word than that one. But anyway, hopefully the enthusiasm, the aggressiveness will rub off on the defense for the Hurricane, and they'll get out there and make Portland work a little harder for what they've been getting as far as points and yards. And man, we got a new kickoffer. Takes the ball on about the 22, cuts to the middle, turns it up. He's got some blockers in front of him. Oh, good coverage, though. Yeah, here we go. We have a new Hurricane team out there in the second half. Get down there, good coverage. Wasn't that great of a kick. He did return it out into the 35-yard line, which you would think, well, if they returned it to 35, the coverage wasn't that good, but it wasn't bad. Not bad at all. It was kind of a short kick. Okay, so how is Portland going to respond to their defense getting pushed down the field? I think Portland is looking to make waves on this series. And I'll tell you what, Northwest Athletics Apparel has everything that your youth and adult team might need to make waves on the field. All right, shotgun, double receivers to each side, running back behind the shotgun quarterback. There's the snap. Big rush. It was a screen. There's a flag on the field. And so on that, there was a big rush on the quarterback, and that's a good thing if you are hoping for a good play from the Hurricanes. It was a good, hard rush. Well, it turns out that it was a screen. So the offensive line on a screen will allow the defenders to get through. Then the offensive line, in this case, ran to their right, to the bottom of your screen there. And the linemen were trying to get downfield to block, and the running back came out towards the sidelines, into the flat on the sidelines, threw him the ball. However, there's a lot of boys out there too. Look at that. There is a whole lot of Portland out there. That was well set up. He had a convoy of big guys leading the way, but they all got called for holding. That was what the penalty was, and so it's 1st and 20. Trips to the top, combination probably coming out of those guys. That's offsides. They're going to let it run. This is a free play. Did they blow? They must have blown the whistle. Dead ball. Okay, so what happened there? This is the case where the defense jumped off sides, and that's where you have the free play. The offense can continue playing, and if they score or if a good thing happens, the offense refuses the penalty that the defense committed. If something bad happens, if it's an incomplete or an interception, then the offense accepts the penalty. Only in that case, you have the old unabated concept, and that's where if a defender is going to be able to get through and deliver a big blow to the quarterback, then you blow the whistle so that doesn't happen. And again, I talked about this earlier last year when we were doing the Kings game. That happened. A defender jumped offsides. It was clearly offsides. Came through, lowered his head, knocked the helmet off of the quarterback. So it's good to stop those plays sometimes. All right, he's back to pass. Plenty of time. Looking left, break out to the sidelines. Tiptoes along the line, is caught. Good footwork. He was right there on the side. Number 7 knew where the sidelines was, and he did the little tiptoe move, staying in bounds, getting a few extra yards. So that was good awareness, field awareness by number 7. Okay, 1st and 10. Trips down here towards us. Wide out to the top. No tight end. Running back alongside the shotgun quarterback. Just looking, there's a laser screen again. And there you go. And this is the deal. This is the tough part about the laser screen. And this is where the defenders, when they start reading it, because you'll see number 17. We'll see number 17. Now, 17, he's doing what he can do. He has to block the defender. There you see him right there. Number 17 has to block the defender that lined up on number 4. Again, the defender that can make the big play is the defender that's covering the receiver that does a quick laser move that steps back and gets the ball. They tried to block it correctly. 17, that's just that the defender, the Hurricane defender, was alert. They've been running this play a lot, so they're probably starting to clue into it. The defender was alert and got to the receiver, who became then the ball carrier, before the other receiver could get out and block him. And that's how you blow that play up. See, now what you do, I'll tell you what you do after this play. Here we go. 2 to the top, 2 down here. There's a snap. They got some pressure on him. He's in the backfield. Oh, big sack. That is what, 20-yard sack. Yeah, and this is outside contained. That's the importance of an outside rush. That's not an out. That's a guy that came in the middle. That's why the quarterback couldn't get away from him. What you want to do, that guy there now, number 55, he came from the right side. He was the right outside guy. So what you look at a situation like that, we got timeout by Portland. We're going to probably discuss their blocking scheme there. But in this case, in that case that you saw right there on that play, the outside guys, they have to make a contain. They have to contain the quarterback inside. So typically what the quarterback does, this is where they talk about stepping up into the pocket. That's a tough thing sometimes to get quarterbacks to do because you're stepping into the middle of the rush. And as we've been talking about all game, the big guys are in the middle. So it's counterintuitive in a way at times for a quarterback to be back to pass. He's got the contain rushers coming at him on the outside, and the big boys are in the middle. I don't know that he really wants to step in there, but that's what you usually do. You step up. That allows your offensive tackles or your outside blockers to run the defenders past the quarterback, and that gives you the extra time. Well, in this particular case, that's what I thought happened originally because of how quickly the defender from the left of the field of the defense, bottom of our screen, was on him. Well, it turns out that was an interior guy. So you can't step up. You don't step up into an interior guy. You have to roll out. So that's a big thing. When your interior guy gets in there as quick as the quarterback gets back, oh, he's going deep. He's got a guy. There's the window. He catches it right on the sideline. Oh, they call him out of bounds. You know what? That was incomplete, out of bounds. Well, let's see that again. Look at that, right down, streaking down the sidelines. Ball's nicely thrown. But official right there, good position on the official. He's in perfect position to make that call, and the call he made was that the player was out of bounds. They got a flag that was called holding.
Holding was called on the Raiders,
which might explain why he had as much time as he did. So the positive thing here is the Hurricanes, as a couple of plays ago, the Hurricanes were getting some interior pressure on the quarterback. That's a tough one to deal with if you're getting interior pressure on the quarterback and you have your contain rushers coming around the outside. The quarterback is going to run out of time to throw, and he's not going to have time to throw far down the field. That's where you have to do those quick laser screens and similar such plays. Okay, they're punting. This is a big one. 4th and 30. Punt. Bad punt. Ball's up in the air. Takes a Hurricane bounce. He gets it. Turns it to the sideline. Starts upfield. Driven out. And number one takes offense to that. But I think that's probably one of those where, hey, just walk away from that one. Good hustle. Good enthusiasm. Good alertness. Caught the ball on the bounce. Got some yards back. Got hit. It didn't seem that was that aggressive of out of bounds hit. Probably just walk away from that, and there was a good no call on the officials. Although earlier on there were some questionable behavior and actions by certain Portland players, but they kept it under control. The officials done a pretty good job here of keeping the players on an even keel. Hey, here we go. This is exciting. Here we go, Hurricanes. Make something happen. Be set. Okay, everyone's set. Quarterback step back.
He's going to be taken down.
He's taken down. And that's by number 93.
That made beating in on the third quarter.
Absolutely. That's a great play, number 93. I seem to keep mentioning 93 as a defensive lineman. That's a good play there up the middle. Quarterback had time, though. This is one of those things where you think the quarterback maybe should just go ahead and get rid of it. However, when you're down, by 42 points, taking a sack or two isn't going to lose you the game. So he wanted to make something happen. Enjoy that. I really enjoy the play of this quarterback. Makes the game worth watching, even though the score would suggest that it's not that good of a game. Wow, look at that. That third quarter's over. That third quarter just flew by. And you know who won the third quarter? The Hurricanes. The Hurricanes won the third quarter. Now, of course, it's not who wins the quarters, it's who wins the game, who has the most points. But if you start at 0-0, and how many times you hear coaches say that? It's a whole new game, second half. Well, sometimes it is. And in this case, the Hurricanes won the third quarter. So, you know, these games are one of the wonderful things about Chip Begay, the owner of Apache Wolf and also Cgame.live, is these videos are available on demand. Isn't that amazing? So you can watch this game again. And for Hurricanes, you know what? Watch the third quarter. You won it. It was dang good football, and it wasn't accidental. The Hurricanes played better in this third quarter. Stop the fourth. See, you got a guy going deep. He's got double coverage. Oh, interception. And the receiver's down. Might want to get involved, though. You know, here you go, running back. Okay. People rolling, the quarterback flying out. We'll see that one again. This is one of those where, you know, the game's, it's way down. This is one of those where the quarterback says he's in double coverage. He's just going to go for it. And it was a good coverage, good interception. It wasn't that bad of a pass. Okay, now it would be better if the receiver, we talked about this earlier, right? It's tough, right? You're going down there, you have a chance to score a touchdown. Quarterback misthrows a bit, and it's intercepted, and you're upset about it. Well, you know what? Turn around and go make the tackle. That's how you express your upsettedness. Yeah, that sounds like an old lineman, huh? Since I never was actually involved in passes and catching and everything. Although the good thing is I once intercepted a pass from Jim McMahon. That's right, the Super Bowl MVP of the '86 Bears. And I might have time to tell that story later on in this game. So I have caught a pass from Jim McMahon when he was at BYU. I was at San Diego State. All right, here we go. Trips to the top. Snap, quarterback back. He's got some pressure. Steps up. They got to him in the backfield. Big play. This second half, if you just watch what's happened so far in the second half, the Hurricanes, you think their pass rush is just shutting down the Portland passing game. Their pass rush has been outstanding in this second half. What was it, a 30-yard sack earlier, and then this one here? That's big, and that's how you shut down a passing game, by the way. And I say that because my experiences as a defensive lineman and as a defensive line coach, but that's it, right? The quarterback, as long as the quarterback had back there, the receivers can't get very far downfield. So you're doing underneath stuff, short dink, 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 the dink passing game. Okay, here we go. 2 receivers top, 2 receivers down. Inside handoff. That's to slow down the pass. But I tell you, once again, look at this. You got 2nd and 20, right? And you run the ball. It was a draw, so it's not really a running play. But you run the draw specifically to slow down the pass rush. That's why you're going to do it. It's 2nd and 20, right? Why are you going to run the ball? It's because that pass rush is getting to him. Holy mackerel. This is the tale of two cities, the tale of two halves. Here we go, Hurricanes. They're getting ready. They're getting fired up on the line of scrimmage. 2 to the top, and then a slot to the top, 1 down here to the bottom. The slot staying in, rolls out, kicks it up, guys open, catches the ball, turns upfield, then breaks back out. 17 comes back across the middle. He's still moving, and he's down. That's a big gain, 20-something, 25 yards. That's a first down. And you saw on that, the quarterback rolled out to the right, and you do that. That reduces your passing efficiency. Your accuracy is going to be reduced a little bit if you're scrambling out, but you do that to slow down the pass rush. Now, turned out for a big play for them, so you do have to cover the receivers downfield a little longer in this case, but the last 2 plays, run a draw when it's 2nd and 20, and then roll out when it's 3rd and 20. You do that to slow down the pass rush. So Portland is aware of the pass rush from the Hurricanes. There's a handoff inside, cuts in, then cuts out, breaks on out, good hard run. Flags coming in, a couple of flags, so the infraction was obvious. Not to me, I don't know what it is, but we'll find that out in a minute. Nice hard run. Starts in, breaks out, turns it upfield, gains, well, what is it, 6 yards? Holding against the Raiders. With tale of two halves. I mean, that's a big play for the that's a big play for the Hurricanes, because that was a momentum sapper from the Hurricanes that last play. Right, 3rd and 20, quarterback's able to get outside and dink it off a short pass. It's, because of the yards after the catch, turns into a first down. So that was a big penalty, moving back 1st and 20. Rolling again. All right, got to square up. Throws across his body into a ton of people. He had 2 receivers in the same area. I actually, because you might have noticed, both teams are wearing white. I'm not quite sure why that is, but I actually mistook one of the Portland receivers as a defender. You know, I'm not sure why you would have 2 guys in the same place. I think they maybe got mixed up on the patterns they were supposed to go. Yeah, I tell you what, before I got into the booth on game day, and before you take the field on game day, search Northwest Athletics Apparel on Facebook and let them help you start your season off right. Northwest Athletics Apparel. They are a proud sponsor of this week's game, right here on C-Game Live. Yeah, so this is a pretty good second half so far. I mean, I'm not sure who do we think has won the fourth quarter, or the okay. Here we go.
So they got second down and long.
Okay, what? Okay, all right, I got it. Here we go. Okay, so we got 3 down here, 3 receivers down here, 1 in the slot. Quarterback steps up, rolls back out, looks over the top. Guy's wide open.
And that's going to be incomplete.
That has been an issue with the Hurricanes, is that the Hurricanes in their coverage, the front of the Hurricane defense, the defensive line is putting on some pressure. In fact, you see what they had the last play, it was trips to the left, but the inside receiver was in a slot position, was a wing position that's right off of the tackle, and he stayed in to block. So once again, that pass rush of the Hurricanes is changing the way Portland is playing. They have trips down here towards us on the left, and they keep one guy in to block. The quarterback still has to scramble around. Okay. And in this case, they now have a tight end. Going one-on-one to the right, into coverage. Oh, that's just, I tell you what, that is just a sweet play for Portland. That is just a lot of individual effort on that one, because he was well covered. The ball was right in there. This is, as I could recall, the first time I saw Portland run with a tight end on this play. They had 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen, and they had 3 receivers, but 1 was in the tight end. And that is where they are having to adjust their formations because of the pressure that the Hurricanes have been putting on the quarterback here in the second half. So the only part of the Portland game that's been questionable has been their extra points. So let's see how this one works out. And that's good. So that makes the score 57 for the Raiders, 8 for the Hurricanes. However, by score, the Hurricanes are still winning the second half. So here we go. Hey, you know what? This is it. What's going to happen on this series with the Hurricanes? This is a big one. This is a big one for the second half. For the second half competition. All right, because here's the deal. You can see, I'm not saying this happened, but you could see that Portland would come out with 50-0 lead and be somewhat complacent to open up the second half. Well, the good way to have your complacency cured is to give up a score on the opening touchdown. Now the opening series. Now they come back, drive down the field, and score. Although when the Hurricanes opened up, you could tell they earned that touchdown to open up the second half. They came at them and they played well. They had some big plays. In this case, Portland, good team, but they were in trouble a number of times on this drive, and it really was just a heck of a play. That last touchdown, he was well covered. Quarterback willing to stick it in there. The quarterback has faith that the receiver is going to do what he needs to do to make that catch, to go in there, fight the ball away from multiple defenders. So that was a good individual play. Two individuals did well as individual players on that play, the quarterback and the receiver. Here we go. And it's off. They're going to get about the 20-yard line. They're going to start with good field position. Oh, I'll pick it up. Okay, he's got it. Stop, turns up. Oh. So they'll start at about the 29-yard line. Here we go. So you just watch the Portland defensive line walk out. They are stalwart, that is for sure. Those are some big, tough guys. Again, we watched them last year in the playoffs when they were playing the Kings, and they were impressive then. Defensive line guys up front. And the thing is, they have a bunch of people that can play up there. So right now, number 93 is not playing. So they're able to bring in other players, give them a rest. Okay, here we go. We got 4 wide, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Flare out of the backfield on the running back. Good out move, comes in, back inside, turns it up. There's a block. Oh, good job. He was a good try by the receiver. Unfortunately, he got to the defender about the same time the defender got to the ball-carrying receiver. But look at that. First down, 10 yards on that, and good yards after the catch, and also other receivers rallying to the ball carrier. Handoff inside, stutter step, turns it up. And he's heading into the teeth of that defense. Good hard run. And there again, we talked about this. There it is. Second and a little more than 5, close to 5 though. If you get 5 on first down, that just changes the whole complexion of that series, of the offensive series. So here we go. Lots of opportunities here. He's back, looking left. Got time, throwing it down. It's into coverage. Oh! He's willing. That quarterback, I tell you what, he's willing. He's just going to do it because it was not that the receiver was open. That would have been a great play, though. It's not that the receiver was open. He was covered. Quarterback just says, I'm going for it. And it makes it exciting. So here we go. 3rd and about 6. That's where that first down and a good gain on the first down, 1st and 5, 1st and 4. Gives you the opportunities to go deep on the next play. Showing the guy off the edge. He's free, steps up, don't have much time. He's running with the ball. Fakes it, of course. That was close. However, one of the rules, he slides, right? Well, one of the rules is if the defender has already committed himself to making the hit, well, you can't stop. So that was a good no call. The quarterback needs to go down a little bit earlier than that. Because that's one of the problems with sliding. If the quarterback doesn't go down soon enough, he's really opening himself up. So if he slides too late so that the defender has a right to hit him, the quarterback is really in a vulnerable position. All right, here we go, moving. Flare back out of the backfield, over the middle, catch the ball. Catch the ball. That's tough. You going over the middle. See, it's easy for me to say that because I never went over the middle. I'm not sure I would catch the ball, but either you shouldn't be sending people over the middle there. That's dangerous area. But need to catch the ball in that situation. I'm not saying I would catch the ball. All right. Same typical formation, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Quarterback hands off inside. Cut right, cut step, back to the left, turns it upfield, spun around, keeps his feet driving. Nice run. And, there we go. Hurricanes are calling timeout now. The problem is this is their second timeout of this half.
With 4:46 left to go.
Well, actually, the scoreboard shows 4 timeouts left, but I'm not sure that they're actually keeping track of that. So anyway, because they called one early, now they call another one. So hopefully down the stretch. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? They're not going to need any timeouts at the end of the game. I mean, they may need a timeout to win the second half, but yeah, okay. Go ahead and use your timeout. You're not going to need it to pull this game out. Still, this is great second half. Moving the ball. Hurricanes. Okay, so tonight's game here on Cgame.live is brought to you by Northwest Athletics Apparel. This next play is brought to you by Northwest Athletics Apparel. He's looking right, got a guy, throws it deep into coverage. Oh, another interception. No, oh! Yeah, there's a flag on that. Another flag. It's coming all the way back. So what you saw was just this knockout block down by the goal line. They threw the flag, and I believe the call on that one is going to be that he was not involved in the play. It turns out that you actually can't run over and knock people down if they have no involvement in the play. That actually is a rule, and that may be the call there. Didn't look like it was high, and it was pretty close. I mean, that's one of those things where you could actually not make that call. Pass interference is declined. Personal foul on the defense. And so, but if it was pass interference, they'll play that play over.
And then personal foul for the hit or by the end zone.
So you want to see? So here we're down here. What you're talking about? Too bad. He had time. Steps in. Okay. Now watch this to the left of your screen. See, left of your screen. There's the guy. You know what? I think, as much as I don't like those kind of headshots, I'm not gonna fault the player on that one, because the guy was still potentially in. Now, if you hit him in the head, that would be the good call if you hit him in the head. But I can see why you would throw a block on that guy. The guy's still coming after you. So anyway, getting back to the rule, if you're a defender and you have nothing to do with the play, and an offensive guy comes running over and wipes you out, that actually is a penalty. They actually say that it's non-participation is what they consider it. So if you're a defender, if you're on defense and you're not involved in the play, you actually the offense can't actually wipe you out. They can stand in front of you and screen you, but they can't wipe you out. Okay, they're starting from the 1 yard line. Handoff inside, just try to get some breathing room, turns it up. Good hard run. That's an important place to gain a few yards, get out of the end zone, free up some options on your offense. Quarterback can now drop back to throw a pass, and he's not going to be standing in the end zone. Okay, the standard Portland formation. Receivers split to the top and to the bottom. Hands off inside, driving upfield. Very close to the first down. So 2 carries, over 9 yards gained on those 2 carries. That's something too, is with these offenses these days, they never come under center. So when you get 3rd and 1, you still got to take it out of the shotgun. That puts you back, starts you a few yards deeper than you would if you came out under center. Let's see what he does. Probably going to hand it off inside. He does hand it off inside, and there you go. And that is the problem. That is the problem with having 3rd and 1 and have to take it out of the shotgun. The running back got the ball 3 yards deep, 2 yards deep, and by the time he got back to the line of scrimmage, he didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. They have a injury on the Hurricanes for a hurricane. That guy was, seems like he was one involved with the pile up on the running back. That's the area the running back was taken down. Now, one of the great things about Northwest Athletic Apparel is they believe strongly, very strongly, in bringing quality to the customer. And to do that, you have to do customer service. And how often, especially in this digital age, right? I have a special phone. Phone company's cheap, but anytime I want to call, you can't never call them, right? No one's going to answer the phone. And in fact, they have when you try to get information, you don't talk to a person. And they can't understand what I'm saying. I don't know why, but I'm not able to get information. I call, hey, yeah, I'd like John Phillips, and I get Philip Johnson. What the heck is going on there? Well, that's one of the great things about Northwest Athletic Apparel. They believe in customer service, right? So you get quality. It's affordable team gear and customer service. They have stuff, I think we've mentioned this a few times, they have great stuff for your youth teams. They have good stuff for adults. So if you are contemplating, I had to rehearse that word, by the way. If you are contemplating your next uniform order, I didn't rehearse order, I should have. If you're contemplating your next uniform order, contact NWA Apparel, that's NWAAPPAREL at gmail.com. And let me tell you, with the NWAA advantage on your side, that's Northwest Athletic Apparel, with the NWAA advantage on your side, everybody wins. And that's great. It's not the zero-sum game, right, where one person wins, one person loses. When you contact NWAA, everybody wins, including us. Contact them more, we win more. All right, here we go. 4th down, punting out of the end zone. End over end punt. Catch it, pick the ball up. Okay. So the defensive guy got down there, grabbed the ball, and so where he ends up with it, it's going to be on the 46, 47, 48-yard line. -5. It'll be on the 43-yard line. And here we go. Let's see if the Hurricanes can continue their advantage of the second half. And we're getting, they called an official's timeout, I believe. And the Hurricane, or excuse me, the Portland, the Raiders, they're bringing their first line guys out there. They're getting ready to try to put a stop to this silliness that's going on with the Hurricanes, coming down, marching up and down the field, pinning them deep down in the Portland own territory, making them punt, getting the ball on this side of the 50-yard line. Here we go. Quarterback flare out. Running back flared out. Quarterback is under pressure. That's a sack. And again, that's one of those things where you would say, he had enough time. He didn't have a lot of time, but he had enough time to either make a quick pass or throw the ball away. But if you look at the score, he probably was thinking, I'm going to stay in here and I'm going to see if I can make something happen. But that would be the time that where you just go ahead and toss it on downfield and not take the sack. There we go, standard formation for them. Handoff inside. Good gap, right up the middle, running hard, running fast, and they made a little move at the very end. Here, this guy busts through about 15 yards into the run. He makes that quick little move to the outside. Quick move for a big guy, and he adds a few more yards. Look at that. That was a nice run, and we're right back in it. Hurricanes are ready. Handoff inside. Oh, it's a cross buck. Gains enough for a first down. And I tell you what, I really am impressed with the front of the Portland Raiders defensive line. Those are some big, tough guys in there. And the Hurricanes were willing to run right at them for a short yardage to get the first down. A little mix-up in the backfield. Still running in there, running hard, gaining some yards. The rest of the team comes in behind, starts pushing. The problem there, unfortunately, see, they do this, where you have the two backs flanking the quarterback, and one guy goes first, so arbitrarily the running back on the right cuts to the left, then the running back on the left cuts to the right, and one of the two gets the handoff. Unfortunately, on that last play, they both went first. So they ran into each other. Look at the guy on the backside. Oh, man. Ball's picked up. And there goes the game. That's the end of the game. Portland Raiders, outstanding football team. What a great game they played. But it was an interesting second half. And guess what? The Hurricanes won the second half. Portland Raiders dominated the game, won the first half. The Hurricanes came out and won the second half. That was some good stuff. And now we're looking at the teams as they shake hands, walk across. I like that quarterback. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to watching this guy. We get to see him play a couple more times. I'm excited about that. And so what happened was it's a tale of two halves. And, of course, in football, it's the total points win, and it wasn't even close, 57-8. But the second half was won by the Hurricanes. And, right, granted, if I'm a Portland fan and I heard announcers say what I just say, I would go, well, that's ridiculous. We had the big lead, and that's true. It was a big lead. They came out, but the enjoyable part about this game, good job, Portland Raiders. Good job. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs. Tough team, good players, good athletes. But I tell you what was great about this was the Hurricanes were willing to stick in it and come back out in the second half and win the second half. It was a great spirit, great game of spirit in the second half for the Hurricanes. Come out there, working hard, making things happen. So that definitely was worth sticking around for the second half. Hopefully we're going to have another good game when we get back to you. That will be in July 14th. We'll be watching the Tri-City Rage play the Hurricanes. After this second half, that's the way to lead into the rest of the season. That was a tough exhibition of sportsmanship, team unity, enthusiasm, and the willingness to keep playing, even though you're down 50-0 at halftime. That was one heck of a second half. That was one heck of a game. And once again, I want to thank Northwest Athletic Apparel and for the great service they did to us, and also Bryce Williams for coming in here, helping us out pregame, and also for sponsoring this and sponsoring the next two games that we have on here. So once again, thanks a lot, Bryce Williams, for the support you gave us. Northwest Athletic Apparel, thank you so much for sponsoring this. Chip, thank you for being the man. I appreciate it. Ray, get out here. We're missing you, man. That's Ray. Lana, he's the person that usually does the play-by-play, and I get to sit back and just do my musings of what I see on the field. So great day here, beautiful town, beautiful view of Mount Rainier. Great day for football, spring football, and thank you so much, Northwest Athletic Apparel, for making this happen. And we can't wait to see you guys again. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.